become the cornerstone crown jewel at this point of the franchise. I
Well,
really feel it's the most interesting thing too.
I mean, okay, have you read any more about ratings? Like, I guess it didn't break the ratings records because I think RHOA did that back in the day when we had Nene. Like, they were the ones getting 2.4 million, 2 point.
Yes.
So I don't think we're going to hit those days with any of these shows again. I think we were at 2 million, right? With some of the reunion episodes for
I
Beverly
think like
Hills.
1.5, but that's for Housewives today really high. But yeah, it doesn't break Nene or RHOA or anything like that because that was in the twos.
Okay, well, I don't know. You lead, but I mean, I kind of find the bots to be very interesting.
We can start with the bots.
Well, we know who the source of the bots are now. I
We
guess.
do.
Do you believe it? I mean,
Well, Diana knows apparently, yes.
but she's released it. All about the T underscore, all about that T underscore is the alleged person in Northern California whose accounts the bots came from along. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I said the wrong person. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think it's all about the tea.
no, it's not. Sorry. That's like a legitimate one.
That's a legitimate
sorry.
one.
All about the T. Queen of the T underscore. Queen of the T underscore is the person Diana Jenkins says is the person behind all.
But it's controversial because she's saying that's one of the people and she's not releasing like all the rest. And then there are people saying, well, that's the one person who wasn't a bot. It's the one account and you really haven't released anything. I was under the impression that that was just one person involved and she's not officially going to release this information. She just won't like share it with us at this point. That's what regardless, which is, I think, it's such a passive aggressive thing, right? It's like,
well, what's interesting to me is Garcelle was on the red carpet talking to E, and E said, all right, we want to fire away a bunch of questions. Garcelle's great. She's like, sure. To me, I get from Garcelle, she doesn't believe Diana's investigation, period. She's doing her own investigation. To me, she's very, dismissive of Diana's. And I'm sure like, obviously there's they clearly are not friends, right? So she seems to dismiss everything Diana's doing. And I guess to your point, right? I mean, there is no identity of queen of this T underscore, right? So supposedly it's been deactivated, but like, we don't really know the human behind it, right? So that to your point, it doesn't prove anything, right? It could still be a producer that made it up. Again, I have no proof of this. Diana's team seems to be leading people to believe this is like an actual troll in Northern California. And then there's also these European bots. But I mean, you're right. It is kind of passive aggressive because there really isn't an identity to any of these so-called bots. But, Diana's parading it out there that it's a big victory.
She's parading it out there. I mean, look, Garcelle, I think, is at the point, because I saw that interview on the red carpet. Garcelle is just like, I think, and rightfully so, like, just, keep my son's name out of your mouth. Like, I don't think, like, she's not giving it any life. She's like, I'm doing my own investigation. And I just think she will talk on the red carpet about anyone, Rinna, Erica, whoever it is. She won't, and she's done with Diana. She never wants to have a conversation like about this again. And I think she's just like, keep your son's name out of my mouth, which you have to wonder what's there. Like, does Garcelle know, I think, like, does Garcelle know something as she is along in her investigation that the rest of us don't? Right.
Well, that wouldn't shock me. But I mean, do you like months ago when we were talking about the bots on this podcast, right? We had all kinds of theories. Maybe the producers were behind it. I don't think you and I ever really believed Diana was behind it, but I do have to say from that reunion, it seems like Garcelle said point blank, I believe you could do this. So, who do you now think with all this information coming out, everybody's suing the bots, blah, blah, blah. I mean, who do you now think could possibly be behind it?
I mean, look, I think there is just me. I think there's 0% chance it's Rinna, 0% chance it's Erica. That's wishful thinking on everyone's part. I don't think it's producers. I mean,
I think you're right.
That's such a, like, you're getting the ratings. Like you don't need to do anything to promote this show. Rinna's doing enough every day on social media by just being Rinna to promote the show. I think it's such a fine line that if you did that, I just really I either think could it be Diana? It's the only person who makes sense, but I still just, I mean, everyone is always like, but here, and these are clearly bots. I don't know. I don't think there's any conspiracy theory. I think it's nobody. I think it's just a bunch of nonsense.
Like, okay, but somebody wrote those things. So you just think it's like maybe a spam account, like in.
Well, yeah, like can't like one person hire 5 bots and someone else hires, I don't know, like, but I think the actual things that the really like, I think the really racist things that were said were actually like, there's bots and there's real people mixed in, right? So
yes, right. Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
Who do you think?
Well, I don't know. I do think there's some real strong, and we don't know the reason why, but there's truly some dislike with the women towards Garcelle, right? And I'm talking Erica, Rinna, Diana. There's no love loss for those 3 against Garcelle, clearly, or Sutton. They obviously hate Sutton too, right? So to me, at that reunion, the way Garcelle was staring at Diana, I think there is way more to the story that we don't know.
I think Garcelle knows something in her investigation, and that's what makes me think Diana could be like, she's the only one that like the way Garcelle won't talk about her, I think it's discussed, like this involves my son, and B, I think she has a legal team that's like, you just keep it zip, girl, because like I think Garcelle knows something and she's gonna let us know, maybe. But I think she knows more than I think she knows.
Look, Garcelle is amazing, right? She's been in this game a very long time. And I mean, the truth is, we know Diana is filthy, filthy, filthy rich. So even if Diana is behind it, okay, which like you said, could very well be, and I agree with you on that point, right? I mean, is it worth, like, Garcelle doesn't have a fraction of the money that, Diana is. So is it worth even going up against Diana? Or Diana is probably not going to be on the next season. We're not going to hear or see much from Diana Jenkins. I don't think that the public particularly cares anymore, fans. So does Garcelle just kind of give these looks, give these insinuations that Diana isn't who she says she is, and then it like moves on? You know what I mean? And Garcelle keeps her job and keeps rising. I almost feel like it's worth that, because I don't know. I mean, unless maybe Garcelle will have concrete evidence that it's Diana, but it's probably hard to do that because, like you said, you're hiring bots mixed in with real people, and you're probably hiring somebody in, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, you and I get hit up all the time. I get hit up all the time. Don't you want more followers? I'm so-and-so from India, and I can give you, I mean, everybody I think now does, right?
24/7.
So much of all social media and music and podcasting, all your numbers can be, inflated. So